Are you feeling drained without knowing why? Every day you work, you live, you smile, yet deep inside, you feel empty, overwhelmed, and exhausted. It's not because you're doing too much. It's because your mind is focused in the wrong direction. This video doesn't offer shallow advice, nor does it try to comfort you with feel-good quotes. This is a deep journey, one where you'll turn inward, learn to master your mind, release your emotions, and realign your life's energy to where it truly belongs. From the Stoic wisdom of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus to real-world experiences in modern life, this journey won't promise ease, but it will lead you back to clarity, inner peace, and the strength you thought you had lost. Stay, because true freedom begins right here. Misplaced focus, the root of mental exhaustion. Have you ever felt exhausted even when you didn't do all that much? Each morning you wake up and step into the usual routine work, messages, expectations from others, and by nightfall, your body is worn, your mind scattered, and you're not even sure why you feel so drained. It's not because you did too much. It's because your focus was in the wrong place. Mental exhaustion doesn't come from action. It comes from the direction of your attention. It's like holding a flashlight, and instead of pointing it forward, you aim it everywhere into the darkness, the past, or fears that haven't happened yet. And just like that, you lose your way. Stoicism teaches us that what causes suffering is not the world, but the way we perceive it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this, you have the power to revoke at any moment." Imagine your mental energy as sand in an hourglass. Every thought, every emotion, every worry drains that sand. But here's the thing, you don't have an infinite supply. And if you keep pouring your energy into things you cannot control, you're emptying yourself grain by grain. You worry about what others think. You get angry over meaningless comments online. You carry old memories like wounds that never healed. Each one is a tiny hole leaking energy. And by the time something truly important arises, you have nothing left to give. When you don't pay attention to where your focus goes, you live like a boat adrift, no direction, no anchor, and the world with its noise, expectations, and distractions will pull you further away from yourself. It's time to stop and ask yourself directly, what am I really focusing on? You can blame work, society, relationships, but unless you change the direction of your energy, no matter where you go, the exhaustion will follow. Your mind is like a room. If you keep opening the door to uninvited guests' worries, criticisms, memories that no longer serve you, it won't be long before the space becomes suffocating. And you, instead of being the host, become a guest lost in your own home. A person who lives with purpose and virtue chooses what enters their mind. They don't reject emotion or deny hardship, but they understand. Not every emotion deserves a reaction. Not every opinion deserves your attention. Not every situation needs your control. And when you begin asking, where am I investing my energy? That's when your journey toward peace, integrity, and intentional living truly begins. Because peace doesn't come from controlling the world. It comes from choosing where you place your mind, a mind addicted to worry, and how you get stuck in yourself. Why do we keep repeating the same negative cycles even when we know they hurt us? Why, every time we try to change, does a part of us pull us back into old habits, old fears? The answer is simple, yet profound. Your mind craves familiarity. Even if it's negative emotions, painful memories, or vague fears about the future if they've been around long enough, your brain begins to treat them as normal. It doesn't distinguish right from wrong, it just prefers what it knows. Like a prisoner released after decades behind bars, feeling lost in freedom they don't know how to live without the walls, without the limits. And they want to go back. your mind is no different. Anxiety, fear, insecurity, sometimes these are your comfort zones. And if you're not fully conscious, you'll keep looping through them over and over, unconsciously. Epictetus said, "Men are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." The way you view the world and yourself comes not from the present moment, but from old pathways in your brain built in the past. Unhealed wounds, judgments you once believed, failures that made you doubt your worth. Here's the good news. Modern science calls this neuroplasticity. Your brain can reshape itself. You can carve out new mental paths if you're awake enough to start. Imagine your mind as a forest. Negative thoughts have worn a visible trail. If you keep walking it, the trail gets clearer. But if you stop, change course, and step into untrodden ground, you begin forming a new path. It'll be tough at first, but with each step, that path becomes your new way. To change your thinking is to change your life, not by denying fear, but by facing it and choosing a different response. Next time a negative thought shows up, don't believe it too quickly. Ask yourself, is this real? Or just an old habit of my mind? Is there another way to see this? The moment you pause your automatic reaction, you're no longer a victim of yourself. You've taken the first real step into conscious living. And when you do this every day, you don't just heal the past. You begin to rewrite your future. One led not by anxiety, but by clarity and quiet courage. Mastering the mind and emotions, neither running nor reacting. You cannot control what happens out there, but you can control how you respond. That is the essence of Stoicism, and it is the gateway to true inner freedom. None of us escapes emotion. It comes suddenly, fast, fierce. A criticism makes you angry. A crisis makes you panic. A fear makes you retreat. But the real question is, do you react or do you choose your response? There's a tiny space between emotion and action. When you live unconsciously, you react out of habit. But when you live awake, you pause in that space and begin to master yourself. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Your mind will be colored by your thoughts. Your soul takes the shade of what you often think," which means if you dwell on anxiety, rage, or doubt, your spirit takes that shape. But if you train in calmness, gratitude, and patience, your mind will gradually become clear, resilient, and deeply grounded. So how do you train this ability? 1. Observe instead of reacting. Next time an emotion rises, don't respond right away. Watch it like an outsider. Aha, anger is here. Why? What does it want from me? Simply by pausing to observe, you start separating yourself from the emotion. 2. Change how you speak to yourself. Do you often blame or criticize yourself? Like, "I'm useless," or "I can't do anything right." Replace those with constructive inner language. "I made a mistake, but what did I learn? I'll try again with a better approach." This isn't self-deception, it's empowerment through perspective. 3. Plant new mental seeds. Your mind is a garden. Leave it untended and weeds like fear, envy, and anger grow. But if you deliberately plant courage, calm, responsibility, your inner world becomes rich and vibrant. 4. Practice positive visualization. Elite athletes don't just train their bodies, they train their minds by visualizing success. You can do this too. Each morning, close your eyes and picture a day lived with mindfulness, a strong, grounded version of yourself, a challenge you face, and how you respond with wisdom and resolve. Your mind will remember, and soon your actions will follow. Mastering the mind is not about fake positivity or suppressing feelings. It's about seeing them clearly and responding with the wisdom of who you want to become. As Seneca said, emotions aren't the problem. The problem is whether or not they control you. Don't fight emotions. Don't flee from them. Guide them with insight and courage. Are you reacting or responding? That difference is where freedom, virtue, and true maturity begin. Mastering energy, shifting from control to guidance. We often believe that to live effectively and avoid distractions, we must control our energy akin to building a dam to prevent overflow. But imagine a river. If you try to block it, it will overflow, causing destruction. However, if you know how to channel and redirect it, it becomes a source that nourishes vast lands. Life energy operates similarly. Stoicism doesn't teach you to suppress emotions or force yourself not to feel sadness or anger. On the contrary, it teaches you to understand the flow of energy and wisely guide it. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. This is a key principle. Don't attempt to control what is beyond your reach. Focus your energy on what you can master. So, where is your energy flowing? Into unhelpful anxieties? Into others' judgments? Or into past events that cannot be changed? This isn't just energy loss, it's being trapped in endless loops. To master energy, learn to guide it. Let go of resistance. Transform situations. A Stoic doesn't say, "I hope everything goes smoothly." They say, "I'm ready to use everything good or bad as fuel for growth." When facing adversity, they don't complain or resist, but ask, "How can I use this to become stronger?" This is a powerful internal transformation, from resistance to acceptance, from victim to creator. They don't try to control the river, they build channels to direct the water, and this prevents exhaustion while still moving forward. Prepare your mindset. Don't be caught off guard. A classic Stoic tool is premeditatio malorum, anticipating misfortune. Before each day, they envision the worst that could happen. Someone might disappoint you. A plan might fail. A loved one might betray you. But this isn't to live pessimistically. It's so when things happen, they can say, "I anticipated this, and I'm ready." When you're mentally prepared, you don't panic or react instinctively. You conserve energy and use it to act decisively and calmly. Don't waste energy on what you can't change. Imagine a glass falling and shattering on the floor. You can get angry, assign blame, shout, or you can accept it's broken and take action to clean it up. The situation doesn't change. The difference lies in, where do you direct your energy? A Stoic chooses to use energy for rebuilding, not for lamenting. Reflect. Are you trying to control the flow, or are you guiding it? Are you forcing yourself to stay calm, or are you using energy to observe and act wisely? Mastering energy isn't about suppression, but about transformation and guidance. Therefore, to maintain inner strength in a volatile world, look beyond yourself. Is your environment fostering growth or draining your life energy daily? Your surroundings define who you are. Imagine a flame. If you place it amidst cold winds, it will weaken and extinguish. But if you place it among other flames, it will blaze more brilliantly than ever. You are the same. You're shaped not only by your thoughts, but also nurtured or weakened by the environment you choose to live in. Stoics understand this well. Epictetus once said, "The key is to keep company only with people who uplift you, whose presence calls forth your best." What bucket are you in? There's a simple yet truthful story. If you put a crab in a bucket, it will climb out. But if you put multiple crabs together, whenever one tries to climb up, the others will pull it down. Does this sound familiar? Every time you want to change, is there someone mocking you as pretentious? Every time you want to go further, is there someone reminding you to be realistic? They may not mean harm, they're just pulling you back to the comfort zone they're stuck in. If you don't choose a different environment, you'll remain in that bucket without realizing it. 3 layers of environment and how they shape you. A. The people you interact with daily. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. If they constantly complain, are negative, or blame others, you'll absorb that energy, even if you don't want to. Conversely, if they live purposefully, are self-disciplined, and inspiring, you'll naturally elevate your own standards. Reflect. Who are you allowing into your mental life every day? B. Your living and working space. A cluttered room isn't just an eyesore. It distracts your mind, reduces focus, and leads to inertia. Stoics don't worship luxury. They value simplicity, order, and tranquility. You don't need a perfect place, but create a space where you can think clearly and cultivate inner strength. C. The information you allow into your mind. Information is food for the soul. What are you consuming daily? Negative news? Content that makes you angry, jealous, anxious? Or books that elevate your thinking? Questions that prompt deep self-reflection? Conversations that help you grow each day? Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Your mind deserves protection like a fortress. What should you do? A. Choose your companions wisely. Not everyone is bad, but not everyone aligns with your journey. You can love them, but still set boundaries. You can listen, but not necessarily accompany them. Stay with those who bring out the best in you. B. Redesign your living space. It doesn't have to be expensive, just organized with purpose and nurturing tranquility. Every item, every view affects your mood. Let your living space reflect the person you want to become. C. Filter daily information. Before reading, ask, is this nourishing me or pulling me away from peace and clarity? Every time you allow something into your mind, you're giving away a piece of your life energy. Don't give it away unconsciously. Your environment doesn't entirely define who you are, but it shapes who you're becoming. If you truly want to live peacefully in a volatile world, to live ethically, purposefully, and develop inner strength, create an environment that makes growth inevitable. Because when you're surrounded by the right things, you'll grow daily without effort. But even in the best environment, if you don't know how to use your life energy correctly, you'll still be scattered and exhausted. 3 tools for energy transformation. Standing strong in any circumstance. You can learn to master your mind. You can choose the right environment. But if you lack inner tools strong enough to face uncertainty, you will still be swept away. In Stoic philosophy, the following 3 tools not only help one stay grounded in chaos, but also allow them to live with virtue, purpose, and peace, even in seemingly impossible situations. 1. Gratitude, transforming scarcity into abundance. Have you ever felt like this? Feeling inadequate, even when you have everything you need, comparing yourself to others, and feeling wronged, restlessly chasing more, forgetting what you already have. Stoicism doesn't teach us to deny our suffering. It teaches us to see everything clearly and return to what we already possess. Epictetus once said, "A wise man does not grieve over what he lacks, but rejoices for what he has." The feeling of gratitude doesn't come from having more. It comes from clearly seeing the value of what we once took for granted. A day without pain, a trustworthy friend, a peaceful morning to take a deep breath. You cannot be grateful and resentful at the same time. You cannot feel content and lacking simultaneously. You cannot live mindfully while being consumed by endless desire. Gratitude is the beginning of peace. 2. Emotional detachment, observing instead of reacting. When someone insults you, do you react instantly? When plans fall apart, do you panic, lash out, or shut down? Most of us believe emotions are facts, and reacting is natural, but Stoics thought differently. Seneca once wrote, "Emotions are not the problem. The problem is what you do with them. You may feel angry, but that doesn't mean you have to lash out. You may feel anxious, but that doesn't mean you must lose direction. You may feel hurt, but that doesn't mean you must fight back." Emotional detachment is the ability to observe your inner world without being ruled by it. Imagine your mind as a still lake. Every time you react unconsciously, you throw a stone into the water. The more ripples there are, the harder it is to see clearly. But if you simply observe the stone, notice its movement, and stop throwing more, the lake will gradually become calm again. And only then can you choose a wise response. Mindfulness is not the absence of emotion. It is the presence of emotion without letting it own you. 3. Reprioritization. Investing your energy in what truly matters. Let's be honest. How much of your life energy is lost daily to meaningless conversations? Worrying about things you cannot change? Tasks you do just to get them over with? Seneca once said, "It's not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Every day, you wake up with a limited amount of energy. If you don't choose what's worthy of that investment, the world will choose for you with news, demands, expectations, and emotional noise. Try asking yourself each morning, what is most important to me today? What, if I don't do it, will leave me with regret at the end of the day? Maybe it's a piece of writing you've been postponing, a phone call you need to make, an hour you owe yourself for stillness and clarity. When your priorities are clear, your energy flows in the right direction. 3 pillars. 1 strong human being. Gratitude helps you rise above the sense of lack. Emotional detachment helps you avoid being swept into negativity. Reprioritization helps you use your time and energy with purpose. When these 3 are combined, something remarkable happens. You don't need to run from the world. You can stay grounded within it. You don't need to resist every crisis. You can keep your inner peace through it. You don't need to prove anything, because you're living in alignment with what truly matters. But to maintain this, you must weave them into a clear path, a path where you not only know, but also practice and embody your strongest self, connecting everything, returning to your strongest self. There is a truth many people never dare to face. We don't lose our life energy because we lack time or are too busy. We lose it because we live without knowing what we are truly living for. You've learned how to focus on what truly matters. You've discovered how to master your mind, your emotions, and your energy. You've started to understand how your environment affects you. You have powerful mental tools in your hands. But if all of that doesn't lead you back to one core thing, to live ethically, with purpose, and in a state of awareness, then you haven't truly stepped into Stoic living 1-1. Every action reflects a philosophy of life. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Live as if each action were the last of your life." An awakened person doesn't wait for everything to be perfect before living according to their values. They live by principle, even in the smallest things. They keep promises even when no one is watching. They don't speak ill behind others' backs, even if no one would know. They stop to help others, even when they're in a hurry. Not because ethics is an obligation, but because it is the person they choose to be day after day. Ask yourself, am I living in alignment with the values I claim to respect? If someone only observed my actions today, what would they know about who I am? 2. Every day is a chance to practice, not just to improve. There's a common misunderstanding in the journey of self-development. Many see change as a goal, as if becoming better will finally make everything okay. But Stoicism isn't about becoming better to achieve something. It's about living true to your higher nature, because that alone is the reward. You don't meditate to become a better version of yourself. You meditate to return to who you are. You don't let go in order to be more successful. You let go to become freer and more peaceful. You don't learn to master emotions to become stronger. You do it so that you are no longer ruled by things unworthy of steering your life. 3. You don't need to control the world, just yourself. You can't change the world. You can't prevent bad things from happening. You can't control what others think, do, or how they treat you, but you can control how you respond. You can choose to keep your dignity in pain. You can choose to be kind even when no one is kind to you. That's why Stoicism isn't the philosophy of the weak. It's the philosophy of those with courage, clarity, and moral strength. 4. Returning to your strongest self. You don't need to search far to find that version of yourself. It's already within you, beneath the dust of expectations, pressure, anxiety, and busyness, beneath the noise of the world and the definitions of success that were never yours. All you need to do is cleanse the mind, choose what's truly worth living for, and live each day as if you are accountable to your own soul. You don't need to do a lot. Just live rightly in the smallest of actions. When you live with clarity, calm, and principle, when you dare to say no to things that do not nourish your spirit, when you choose to return to values, ethics, and inner freedom, you don't just live better. You become the kind of person the world deeply needs. And if you're asking, where does that path begin? It begins in this very moment, when you choose not to react from old habits, when you choose to direct your energy toward what truly matters, when you choose to become the person you most respect. That is the beginning of freedom, and it is where you truly begin to live awake, strong and full of dignity, redefining success, living with ethics and purpose. In an increasingly chaotic and tangled world, people are swept into the spiral of success. A new title, a higher salary, a bigger house, a more luxurious car. But after all those more, are we truly living better, or just running faster toward emptiness? 1. When success leaves us exhausted, look around you. How many people are slowly burning out, anxious, and hollow inside, even though, on the outside, they seem to have everything? They work themselves to exhaustion without knowing why. They try to please everyone, yet have no time left for themselves. They hit goal after goal, but still feel not enough, because the success they are chasing was never truly theirs. It's someone else's standard. It's society's expectation. It's a fleeting high measured by the admiration of others. And when that becomes your only drive, you trade peace for performance, you lose awareness, and ultimately, you lose yourself. 2. Stoicism defines success in a very different way. To a Stoic, success is not measured by results, but by how you live through the journey. Seneca once said, "A wise person expects nothing from the outside. He finds joy in living virtuously." To a person who lives with ethics and purpose, success is not achieving something, but staying true to their principles each day. You cannot control what others think. You cannot guarantee success in every endeavor, but you can choose to live with integrity, kindness, and steadiness in what you believe is right. 3. Ask again, what are you truly living for? In the quiet, ask yourself, what brings me peace, not fleeting excitement? If no one praised me or even noticed, would I still live the way I do? If today were my last day, would my life's journey feel meaningful? If your answers feel uncertain, don't be afraid. That uncertainty is not failure. It's a call, a gentle awakening, inviting you back to the life that's truly yours. Thought 4. Living with ethics. Not a lofty ideal, but a daily choice. Ethics isn't just a philosophical concept. It's how you act when no one is watching. It's choosing to speak truth when lies would be easier. It's having the courage to defend what's right when silence feels safer. It's giving even when you're unsure you'll receive anything in return. A Stoic doesn't seek applause. They seek alignment between their thoughts, words, and actions. And that is a form of the highest freedom. Freedom from needing validation. Freedom to live with a clear heart and an unashamed spirit. 5. When you live with purpose, everything becomes clearer. When you know what truly matters to you, you naturally turn away from what no longer serves you. You stop chasing expectations. You stop trying to prove yourself. You stop comparing, and you stop getting swept up in races with no real finish line. Purpose doesn't have to be grand. It only needs to be true to your soul. And when you live for that, every step you take carries peace. In a world that constantly pushes you to do more, achieve more, become more, the Stoic chooses to live less but deeper and more truthfully. Success is not what you show on the outside. It's the peace you feel on the inside when you know you have lived rightly, fully, and with dignity. What are you truly living for? Who are you becoming day by day? And is the path you're walking truly your own? That's not just a question for philosophers. It's a question for anyone brave enough to live truthfully in a world addicted to pretending, transforming instead of escaping. The strength of emotional maturity. Have you ever felt exhausted by your own emotions? There are days when all you want is to run away from everything. From uncontrollable anger, nameless anxiety, from the lingering feeling of disappointment, loneliness, and emptiness that clings to you. You try to appear fine, smile as if nothing is wrong, but deep inside, a part of you is cracking, breaking apart, and you ask yourself, how can I become stronger? How do I stop being ruled by my emotions? 1. The emotional maturity does not mean having no emotions. Emotionally mature people are not machines who are always calm. They still get angry, still feel sad, still get hurt, just like anyone else. The only difference is, they don't react unconsciously. They don't lash out when angry, don't run when afraid, don't give up when discouraged. They observe, accept, and transform their emotions little by little. Like a warrior who knows himself well, they choose to confront, not to escape. 2. Emotions are not the enemy, they are messengers, Marcus Aurelius once wrote. You may not control the events that happen to you, but you can choose how you respond to them. And within that, emotions are messages, not commands. Anger tells you that something is violating your core values. Sadness reminds you of something you've neglected. Jealousy can reveal an unmet desire. Anxiety is not meant to weaken you, but to show you the unrest in your mind. If you treat emotions as enemies, you'll be ruled by them. But if you see them as messengers, you'll learn how to listen and transform. 3. Transformation doesn't come from suppression, but from awareness. Stoicism doesn't teach you to suppress emotions. It teaches you awareness and mastery. Try this simple practice. The next time you feel angry, don't react immediately. Pause, observe, breathe deeply. Ask yourself, where is this anger coming from? Is something truly being threatened? Can I respond differently in a way that's strong but not hurtful? That moment of pause, that is where growth begins. 4. True courage is daring to fully feel. The greatest pain doesn't come from emotion itself, but from trying to run away from it. We distract ourselves with overwork, social media, endless entertainment. But pain doesn't disappear. It waits in the dark. And one day, it returns stronger, deeper, and harder to manage. Strength isn't the absence of pain. It's the courage to sit with it, to look at the wound and ask, what is this here to teach me? 5. Every emotion is a teacher. If you are calm enough to observe, you'll realize that every emotion holds a lesson. Negative emotions don't define you. They simply shine light on the hidden corners of your mind. And if you're brave enough to stay, to listen, to learn how to be with yourself in your darkest moments, you will uncover a strength that has always been there, waiting to be named. In a chaotic world, you cannot control everything, but you can control yourself. Emotional maturity doesn't mean you're always okay. It means you dare to face what's not okay with awareness, resolve, and courage. You will still feel anger, sadness, pain, but you'll no longer be a victim of emotions. You'll become their guide, a teacher, not someone swept away. And slowly, you will live deeper, steadier, more peacefully from within, returning to your own path, the journey of a conscious life. There comes a moment in life when you sit alone, silently, in the middle of the night, and ask yourself, where am I going? The life I'm living, is it truly mine, or something I've been chasing because others expect it? Have you ever felt that way? 1. When your life is run by the outside, you live to please others. Work to earn recognition. Chase goals out of fear of being left behind. Smile when you want to cry. Pretend you're okay when you feel empty. Day by day, you complete every checklist that society hands you. But when night falls, you still feel that something essential is missing, a silence deep within that you haven't yet named. Maybe you've forgotten your own path. True awakening is not finding a new path, but returning to the one that has always been yours. Stoicism doesn't ask you to leave the world, nor to give up success. It simply whispers, live consciously. Remember what truly matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "A person without purpose is lost even if they walk on a crowded path." We live among endless options, information, and expectations. But a conscious person is one who chooses what's right, not what's easy. Chooses what's necessary, not what's pleasing to others. 3. Direction must come from within, not from the crowd. A compass distorted by interference will always point the wrong way. So does the human mind. If you live by praise or blame, right or wrong, gain or loss as defined by others, you'll lose your way before you even notice. Stoics understand you cannot control the wind, but you can adjust your sails. And to adjust them, you must first know where you want to go. The journey of a virtuous, purposeful life begins with asking yourself, what is enough? What values are non-negotiable? Am I living true to who I am? 4. Practice conscious living every day. Being conscious is not mystical or lofty. It begins with the simplest things. Pausing in the middle of a busy day to take a deep breath and realize, I am alive. Placing your hand on your chest and asking, where is this heartbeat leading me? Watching your small choices to see if they align with your values or just old habits. You don't need to retreat into the mountains or abandon the world. You just need to live in this world with a clear mind, steady heart, and human kindness. 5. When you live true to yourself, the world changes too. Maybe you can't change the world, but when you change how you live, how you see, how you respond, your world transforms. You will inspire others with your silence, not your speeches. You will influence through your deep and sincere presence. You will no longer need to prove anything, because your inner peace will speak for itself. Returning to your own path doesn't mean leaving the world, but living fully within it with a free and conscious soul. You don't need to become someone else. You only need to return to yourself, deep, calm, purposeful, and awake. And when you do that, you will not just exist, you will truly live.